Yo, what's happening guys, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Battle Like video. Today I'm going to be showcasing some very interesting battles sent into the channel by Boston. Big shout out to Boston. I always enjoy watching him streaming on Jamie Finn's Discord, and of course on Jamie's channel, where Boston is always running some ridiculous spice picks, and today is no exception. Today we're showcasing a triple ghost team in the Open Great League, featuring Shadow Sableye, Shadow Dusclops, and Shadow Chandelure, which of course is a newly released Pokemon in the most recent Rocket event. I have to say, the IVs on these Pokemon are pretty incredible. 0-15-14 for Sableye and 0-15-13 for Dusclops, and of course the newly released Chandelure, which already done a lot of damage and was already a glass cannon, now is going to be hitting even harder. We're running Fire Punch, which I probably would go for Ice Punch personally, because you've got matchups like Mandibuzz, which is about the worst thing you can see when you're running a triple ghost team. Unfortunately here the opponent does go for a Catch and Toxapex of all things, so I think right here we'll come into Sableye, maybe try to get an overfarm and try to deal with the Mandibuzz that way. Very quickly before we hop into the commentary here, thank you to everybody for all the support in the last couple of videos, especially my final Halloween Cup video, where we gained I think 500 ELO in 3 days. That video done insanely well, big thank you to everybody, and thank you for all the new subscribers and everybody who drops likes in the videos, and of course everybody who comments. Today's question of the day here is, which is your favourite Shadow type Pokemon in the Open Great League or in Go Battle League in general? For me, I think it's probably Frostlass, not the best ghost type in my personal opinion, but it's probably my favourite one just because of how cool that Pokemon looks, and of course with the ice and ghost coverage it's very cool. Last but certainly not least, if you want to showcase your own battles, send me in at least 10 battles in the link in the description down below, and I will showcase them if it's Open Great League or Ultra League next week. Anyway guys, hopping into the battles here, we've got the Mandibuzz coming back in. This is a little bit tricky. I think the only way you can probably win this at this point is try to just hard farm it down. Unfortunately, they do get that Air Slash through. I think they might just be at the move. I'm not sure if that Incinerate would have KO'd in time, because we were already boosted. I would really love to know if it would have. I think that was probably the win con in that situation. But nonetheless, Mandibuzz is, like I said, about the worst thing you can possibly see. Hopping into the next battle, we have a Gligar lead. This is a fairly neutral matchup for Shadow Sableye. And one of the great things about Shadow Sableye this season, as opposed to, this is only an aerial ace, you can let this go, as opposed to the return Sableye, is that you can hit Carbings for neutral with Power Gem, which do a decent amount of damage. We're over farming here. I think we do invest at least one shield here to get off both of these moves, and we do go for the Catch and Dusclops. Once again, this is where Ice Punch would be super valuable. These Gligars are looking pretty unchecked in this meta, and Ghost types definitely do struggle against Flyers somewhat. Once again, one of the cool things about Sableye is it knows Power Gem, so for any Pure Fighters, the opponent just lets that go as well, which is quite surprising, knowing that it might have been an Ice Punch. Dig coming through. Dusclops is a pretty high level Pokemon, about 40 something I believe. So we do manage to live that move. We're basically 1 HP, so we pretty much have to insta-for this move. And the opponent does come in with Quag here. I don't think we were getting off the move, and I think we probably come in with Chandelure at this point. We do come in with Sableye to go for the foul play. I think you're probably going to have to throw one move with Chandelure no matter what here. Yeah, maybe we can commit to this farm down. If we actually can get like a Flame Charge farm down, or just a straight up farm down, we can get ourselves boosted, and maybe look to do a lot of damage with Chandelure. The opponent goes for back-to-back moves. Now, I believe these battles are after the calm day, and in comes a Venusaur, ladies and gents, of all things that we could see in the back. Once again, we do resist all the moves, and we're going to see how much a Frenzy Plant actually does from Venusaur, or are we? Because we're going to go for a Flame Charge, which surely boosted will one-shot the Venusaur. Of course, it was already down quite low. The opponent comes back in with Quag, and hits that top left. Good games well played. A Swampert lead here. This is pretty negative for Sableye in general, because about one Hydro will KO here. You probably just about win the zeros, I would say. But we do, of course, Frappa Shield here. We do need to chip this down quite a lot. The Shadow Claws are really chunking on this, and this is where the Shadow is a bit more of a benefit. And we do go for Catch and Dusclops here, which is probably our bulkiest Pokemon in this team. Hydro Cannon does about 50% of our health, and in comes their own Sableye. We don't commit to the move here, and the opponent should have a pretty decent chance to overfarm. I'm not sure why the opponent's shielding that. That only could have been an Ice Punch, but the opponent is playing it safe here. I think here at this point we come in with our own Sableye. We do try to get to a move. We're going to let this go. Shave a shield. I can never say that. Save a shield for Chandelure. We go for a CMP tie, which we don't win, which is super unfortunate. And we do sort of need to get rid of the Sableye right here. The opponent is getting super low, and this one foul play will definitely put them in a position where we can actually farm them down with the Chandelure. In comes Registeel of all things. And once again, folks, we're going to see how much damage this Pokemon's going to take. This is an absolute glass. Yo, that one-shots the Registeel. We one-shot the Registeel, ladies and gents. That is absolutely insane. Flame Charge, its main use is to boost your attack. Shadow Chandelure does not mess about. The opponent destroys their phone. The opponent smashes their phone after that one. They just completely shut the app out. They're like, nope, nope. In comes Sableye. One more Incinerate does it, and that was insane. I wasn't quite expecting it to one-shot Registeel. Shadow Chandelure does not mess about, and in comes Golbat. If you save a shield for Chandelure, it can sweep pretty much everything with that moveset as well. So we're gonna let this first move go. Did the opponent build up to the Shadow Ball? They do go for Poison Fang, because that's pretty much what they like to do. And we're gonna go for back-to-back Foul Plays here. You don't need the Power Gem. If you're in the zeros, you could go for Power Gem, but Foul Play, oh, it doesn't quite KO. Pretty unfortunate. And the opponent will go for a Poison Fang here, which won't KO. We get an energy lead on Dusclops, and the opponent basically comes in with Ambrose. Now this thing does have Brutal Swing, which is a little bit unfortunate because that one move beats our entire team. I think we do live a Brutal Swing, and we maybe could have got to the move. I'm curious to see how much this does. Brutal Swing doesn't quite take us out. I think we definitely could have went for the big move off the start, but we are chipping this away, and it's basically what we want. We can put this in a farm down position. The opponent's throwing energy here as well, which is fantastic, which means the opponent's pretty much dry, and we can come in and get a free Incinerate with Chandelure here. Boom, Incinerate coming through, takes out the Ampharos, and what do they have in the back? It is a Vigoroth, and ladies and gents, this Vigoroth is about to get absolutely smoked. Flame Charge number 1 coming through, and you know, the thing about this Pokemon is, you know, apart from the fact that it hits like an absolute truck, fire types are quite underrated. We're letting the first move go. It is just a Body Slam, of course, which is resisted damage. The opponent should be probably trying to at least go for the Bulldoze. They don't really have much of a win condition left at this point, except for YOLOing the move. The opponent shields up twice. We are forced to shield a resisted Body Slam because Chandelure does not really know the meaning of resisted, and we are going to get the farm down here, and that's going to be good games well played. Once ramped up, those Incinerates just go insane. We get a Lantern here. This is definitely where we want to see it because we have Fire Punch on Dusclops, and we do have Energy Ball on the other thing, but Surfs are far too threatening. I think we can just let the first Surf go, not show the opponent that we're weak to this in the back, and look to go for back-to-back Foul Plays. If one of these goes through, it will get the Lantern quite low, and put them in a position where we could even look to farm it down. We're going to grab Switch Advantage or Shield Advantage. For this type of team, you probably want Shield Advantage. Yep, we come in with the Dusclops, go for the safe swap, and I think we're just going to commit to the farm down. We can eat the energy on Dusclops. Again, it's not a very bulky Pokemon, but it is our bulkiest boy, and in comes the Ninetales, and this is exactly why you want to have Fire Punch in this Pokemon. This is the main use for it. This is going to basically two-shot the Ninetales. The opponent will knock it to a move in time, and they're going to be forced to invest their final shield here if they want to take Switch. Little does the opponent know, we have a Chandelure waiting in the back, which I think 2 Incinerates is going to take this out. First Incinerate goes through, the opponent throws an Ice, Water Ball Ice, which of course is resisted, but we don't want to take any damage on this Pokemon at all. We've farmed up a little bit. In comes Medicham, ladies and gents. We're about to see how much a boosted Flame Charge is going to do to Medi. How much it's going to do. That does about 70% of Medi's health, and we don't quite get the farm down, but basically all we have to do is shield through this at this point, farm it down, and we can basically just nuke the Lantern with Energy Ball or even a Flame Charge at this point. We're, I think, double boosted at this stage, and as you've seen, that Incinerate that went through done a lot of damage to the water type. Good games well played, and I swear if you give this Pokemon a shield advantage, it can do wonders for you. I really like teams like this where you have like just this glass cannon. I was watching Callum on Toast yesterday showcasing Excadrill. If you give that an extra shield, it just goes insane. Or sorry, I think it was actually Pokegrind and Callum both showcased Excadrill quite recently. If you give that thing a shield advantage, it goes pretty insane. We once again have a Lantern lead. We're going to let this move go. Sometimes you do see teams like Lantern double Ghost, so it will be quite interesting to see what they have on this occasion. Last time they had a Medi in the back. We'll see what they come in, or Medi and Ninetales as well. They're shielding up this move, which does indicate that they are quite weak to Sableye in the back. So it could be 2 Ghost types, or it could of course be a Medicham. We get that pretty low, and I think we once again come in with the Dusclops, soak up the Thunderbolt if they want to throw it, or double Surf if they get to it, and pretty much look to sweep once again with Chandelure. Once we get this Pokemon out of the way, yeah, they get off the second move here. Once we get this Pokemon out of the way, it's a big obstacle out of the way, and you would hope they don't have another amazing answer to this. Once again, it is a Venusaur. We're going to go for the Fire Punch. The opponent may think it's an Ice Punch and want to shield it up anyway. The opponent lets it go for heavy damage, and we're going to get to another move. We go for the catch. Are we going to let a Frenzy go? I actually want to see how much this does. Frenzy Plant, it still does like 80%. It still does like 80%, and we get countered down. Oh my goodness. Well, at least we found out. At least we found out. I wanted to see how much a Frenzy done. I found out. And Boston found out the hard way as well. I'm sure he thought, you know what? It's a Frenzy Plant. It's resisted, right? Surely it's not going to do that much damage. Surely the Medicham's not going to be able to counter down, but once again, Chandelure does not really know the meaning of resisted here. Ninetales coming through. Pretty terrible lead. We have 2 answers to it in the back. Oh, it is on Powder Snow. So this is actually a good lead. Weather Ball, not going to do enough. And with Power Gem, we could basically threaten the one-shot. Does the opponent respect it here? We're going to go for, I think that would have been a CMP in the next Weather Ball. Will the opponent respect this damage? It's going to one-shot. They do respect that we come into our Dusclops here to basically go for the Fire Punch. The opponent will get off another move, and once again, Dusclops is our damage sponge. We are respecting the Dazzling Gleam, which is fair enough to be fair. The opponent comes in with Azu, that's absolutely horrible. They do get a bubble free, of course, catching the Fire Punch. And can we actually make it to this in time? I think we do live any one move from Azu here, and we definitely get to this Poltergeist. This is only going to be a play rough, which is not going to do the most damage in the world, and we're going to go for the Overfarm and Poltergeist. Will the opponent respect this, or will they let it go thinking Azu's Fick? That actually doesn't see in damage, and we're going to be able to actually fire off another Fire Punch. The opponents just don't think Poltergeist does that much, and we take out the Azu. Back in comes the Ninetales. They do farm us down, thinking they've done a great job, but little do they know, waiting in the back, we have this thing. We catch the move on Sableye as well, and this is looking to be in a great position now. Dazzling Gleam, the opponent's YOLOing the big move here, and in comes Palo Shade. We're going to go for the Flame Charge on the first one. I think we can just go straight Flame Charge if the opponent lets us go, and we can farm it down. And I think the second Flame Charge, as we seen earlier, against the Medicham, is going to do a ton of damage. Definitely one-shots here, and that's good games well played. So you don't even need Energy Ball half the time. It's only really if the opponent has a water type that, of course, resists fire. You can look to try and one-shot it from full health, but Flame Charge as a neutral move, especially boosted, just completely tears through things. Sableye versus Stunfisk, this is a fairly neutral matchup. I believe it's slightly in favour of Sableye. I'm not too sure what the case would be if it's a Shadow. We do go for the catch on a potential Earthquake. Now Stunfisks do like baiting here, and they do bait. We can look to go for super effective Fire Punches. The opponent builds back up to the Earthquake again. I actually don't mind shielding this here at this point. We'll see what we do shield the Earthquake. I think that's a decent shield there, to be fair. And we're going to go for free here. I thought we were going to YOLO the Poltergeist. One Fire Punch is not going to KO. Will the opponent respect this? They do respect it, thinking it's probably the Poltergeist. Did we just lose CMP to a Stunfisk? That's kind of unfortunate. Rock Slide coming through, of course, is not going to KO. I thought Dusclops would have won CMP, but this Pokemon is decently bulky. The opponent's fighting for alignment here, and if they keep fighting for this, we're going to get off the Fire Punch. The opponent, I think, will still be forced to throw a move. They're not really going to farm us down here, and yeah, at this point, we can come in with Shadow Chandelure, get a free Incinerate through, and with no shields, this thing can basically delete about any team that you can think of. Let's see what the opponent comes in with. They're thinking, what am I supposed to do with this thing? In comes the Zoomerol. Put in the comments down below, how much do you think this Energy Ball is going to do? I reckon this is going to do about 90%, but I wouldn't be surprised if it one-shot it. It does a lot of damage. It probably does about 80%. And in comes Sableye. They go for the catch, but they do end up catching it in Medicham. We're going to go for a CMP tie here on the second one, but we end up CMPing the top left button. Good games well played, and once again, this Pokemon just devastates if you give it a shield advantage or an energy lead. Chandelure definitely looks like a ton of fun. And once again, big shout out to Boston for sending in these battles here. Definitely having a good time watching these so far. In comes Swampert. This is sort of where you want to see it. You want to see it here or on Dusclops. I think we can live a Hydro. Yeah, I think we're going to go for this. Just play this out in the zeros. Yeah, we'd live that super easily, in fact. Go for, it's actually an IV dependent CMP, but with these IVs and Sableye, you're not going to win CMP that often. I think we grab both shields off the opponent and then look to basically come into Dusclops on this. We're going to go for an Overfarm and go for a Foul Play here. If the opponent gets a little bit too greedy, we're going to get to a third one. We do get to the third one in 5 Shadow Claws. It is actually looking like these mud shots are adding up a little bit too much, and unfortunately we don't quite get to that move. Now we will be able to Hex down. I think the opponent should go for double Hydro here at this point. Hydro number 1, Hydro number 2 coming through, which won't KO. And actually I wouldn't mind coming into Chandelure here and going for the Snipe on the Incinerate to get that extra energy. In comes a Charizard, and ladies and gents, Charizard, oh, they get to a Dragon Claw here. I'm not sure this KOs. I think this Poltergeist is going to go for him, and it is going for him. And ladies and gents, I think I don't need to tell you, this is going to absolutely kill the Charizard. It's not even going to knock it out, it's just going to put it in its grave, and in comes Medicham. Now we're going to see how much damage this Flame Charge does this time. Non-boosted. How much will this do to the Medi? It doesn't quite one-shot them. I think this will put them in a spot where we can look to farm it in with Hex, and that should be a good game here. I don't think the opponent's getting to another move. We are pretty low in health. It's going to be close, and we do just about get the farm down. Good games well played. Definitely a bit of an awkward lead there with Swampert. Swampert practically beats the entire team, but we dance around it, get a shield advantage, and like I said, Chandelure is a closer. Just basically hits everything for heavy damage. In comes a Bruxish of all things. Really good lead here for Sableye. The opponent's staying in here with Resisted Confusions. This should only be a Psychic Fangs or an Aqua Tail. They go for Psychic Fangs, of course, resisted. And I think we should have just committed to the farm down. Yeah, I think he realizes at this point that we shouldn't have really thrown a move here. That's perfectly fine. We do get rid of this little fishy. And at this point, guys, we're going to go for a Foul Play. This thing is on Razor Leaf, which is quite interesting. So we've got Bruxish, we've got Tropius with Razor Leaf. And we're going to let that go down and look to sort of maintain this alignment here. How much are Razor Leafs going to do to this thing? They certainly are chipping away here, but we can handle these Razor Leafs no problem. We're actually letting this earliest go, which does a lot of damage, and these incinerates are chunking. In comes Medicham, and we have the perfect answer to it in Dusclops. Dusclops, like I said, being the bulkiest member of our team, should be able to deal with Medicham, no problem. Just going straight Fire Punch. The opponent does go for an Ice Punch here. We can definitely let this go. I think they should at least try to threaten. Oh, it's a pop. Yeah, this is just game over here at this point. Yeah, the opponent thinks so too, and that's good games well played. Sableye into Sandslash. This is once again a fairly neutral lead. They do outpace you with Ice Punches, but of course you do heavier damage with Foul Play. And Sableye does win CMP. The opponent built up to the move. So yeah, they go for Ice Punch in this match 99% of the time. We're going to build up to close to back-to-back. They can just go double Ice Punch here, which is what makes it slightly more favourable for this. They just let that go, and I actually don't mind letting this go. Yeah, we can do this. Look to try to get off this energy on something that comes in. Ninetales coming through, we get off the Power Gem, so this is working out very, very nicely. I was thinking you might want to get a farm down with Chandelure. Let it go. That's actually insane. We can farm them down. The opponent comes in with a Lantern. Does the opponent know about Energy Ball? If they don't, they're in for a nasty surprise here. This Energy Ball is going to get shielded, unfortunately, and in comes Dusclops. I think we just build up to the Poltergeist and just YOLO it, honestly. The opponent knows we have Energy Ball and Chandelure. Yeah, I think we're just committing to this move. I think we don't shield here, just let this go. And like to YOLO off the Poltergeist. Will the opponent think that they can shield this and outpace the Chandelure? Let's have a look here. Poltergeist, they do respect that damage. And we just basically need to get to this Energy Ball before they get to 2 Surfs. Our farm is down. This is going to get very, very close. I think this might even come down to a CMP time. Let's have a look here. One more move coming through. Oh, they just about get to it in time. Of course, you can't really CMP on a 5-turn move, but that's good games. Very, very fun battles by Boston. Big shout out to Boston for sending in the battles. If you want to send in your own, like I said, link in the description. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like, subscribe if you got yourself a Shadow Chandelure and you're looking to have some fun with it. Well, now you see that it can put in a lot of work, but of course, it can't really eat any moves. So you might have to build your team around it to make sure that you have some sort of coverage, or you can just go all in and go for a Triple Ghost team. Thanks everybody for watching to the end. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time for a brand new video.